Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so in the last video, if you saw, we tested our user authentication functionality, and we were also able to redirect successfully to the dashboard page after a successful authentication. And so, as a result, this is the page that you would land on after logging in, and then as you can see currently, it's showing the component that says you have no registered accounts. Now, this works because we are doing a specific kind of check here on the dashboard where, um, due to this object that we are checking on, it checks on whether or not the user has any registered accounts within the system. If not, it will display this particular component here, which says no registered accounts, which is being imported down here. Otherwise, if the user had registered accounts, it will display this other component here. So in this video, we're gonna work on setting up um, the first initial stuff that we're gonna need in order for this user to be able to register for an account. So there's a couple of things we need to do first before we do that. So currently we have this form. They'll enter the name and then they will select what kind of account it is, and then from there, all the other stuff is going to be generated um, in the background. So without wasting any time, so the first thing I need to do here within the accounts repository, I want to rectify something. So here we are pulling the sum total of all the accounts that the user has right within the system. So here we're not going to change much. It's just one thing. Here where we are selecting the balance, what we need to do is say sum and then balance. So if you were following along, just make that change. I saw this while I was offline, just checking something. So just do that because we need the total sum of all the accounts that the user has, because there's a place where we're gonna display this. All right. So let me just stop the server. Okay. And then now, what we need is to create another helper within here. So this particular class, I'm gonna say gen count number. All right. Okay, so within here, we're just gonna create a method that's gonna return a integer. So we're gonna say public static and then int, and then we're gonna say generate account number. All right, and then within here, let's just return, let's just call it account number. Okay, and then here we'll say int, and then account number. Right. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is call that random class. Right, and then we're gonna call it rand, and then we're gonna say equal to new uh, random number. All right, so and then here we're going to create another integer. We're going to call it bound. Then we're going to say equal to, let's just say 1000. Okay, and then here we're going to say account number equals to bound, and then here we say random, oh sorry, times random dot get sorry, next int, and then we pass in that bound number we're going to get. So doing it this way is going to give us random digits, like maybe something like this, but it's going to add like zeros at the end. All right, so that's why I'm doing it that way. Okay, right. So and then here we return the account number. Okay, so that's our helper class there for generating account numbers. Um, all right. So now let's close this. So now I'm going to create a controller within here and just say account controller. All right, and then here we'll annotate as controller and add request mapping. I'm gonna append account first to it, and then in here we're gonna create a post method. So we're gonna say add post mapping, and then here we'll just say create account. All right, so public, I'm gonna say string, and then we're gonna say create account. Sorry, create account. All right, so what we mainly need within the request parameter, right? We're gonna need the account name. Let me just double check. Let me close this. Right, so the field, we named it as account name, right? And then it's a string. We're gonna say account name. Or let me just camel case it. And then what else? We need the account type. All right, so we're gonna say add request param, and then we're gonna say account type. I'm gonna copy that. If you don't see what I'm doing, I'm in the off canvas where we set up the this component here. So we are in that class, just in case you didn't see what I was doing. All right, so then here we're gonna say string account type. Okay, and then what else? We need the redirect attributes. I say redirect attributes, and then what else? Um, I don't know. Let's just continue. If there's anything missing, I'll come back to it. All right. So here, what we're gonna do is check for empty strings. All right, and then what else? It's not really much. Let me just verify. All right, so we're checking for empty strings, and then the other thing we need to get is the user who's logged in. Okay, and then on here we'll get the uh, user. Should I do that user ID? I don't think so. Here we'll just say get or generate account number. All right. Okay. What else? Yeah, there's not much that we can. There's not much that we can do. Most of the security in terms of whether or not this user can create accounts will be reliant on the interceptors, but you will see that once we get to that stage. All right. So what I can do here is, so we can do an if statement here and say if, let's say, account name dot is empty, or let's say is um, let's say equal to null, we can then redirect from here. So we can say redirect attributes dot add slash attribute. We can then say here user account name. Let's just call it, let's just say error, right? We can say account name cannot be empty. Okay, and then here we can return redirect, and then we can say app dashboard. Okay, all right, so all right, so let's just leave that and we just use that value. Okay, if it gives us issues, we'll just use the null function. All right, so we can check for that, and then otherwise, if it's not, we can proceed here. We can say user okay, equals to, and then, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to add the session, and say session. All right, and right dot get attribute. Right, we're gonna say user. So remember, because we're logged in, we are able to get this user object from the session scope. All right, okay, and then here what we're gonna do is generate the account number. So you can say int account number, you know what, I don't trust writing this variable this way because I'm afraid that there's a number of places where I could use this variable. So I'm just gonna say set, and here I'll say account number, and say equal to gen account number dot generate account number. Okay, so now before we continue, let's work within the, let me just return an empty string for now because it's going to keep showing that error. All right, so let's come back here. So here we're gonna create or insert within the accounts table. So we're gonna say query okay value, and then I'm gonna do native query because I know I'm gonna forget that. All right, so here we can say insert into accounts. Okay, and then let's see, we have here, we need the account ID, account number, account name, account type. The balance by default is going to be 0, and then yeah, these we don't need, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're gonna say user ID. Okay, um let's copy from the table, account number, and then account name, and then account type. All right, so that should be it, and then we're gonna say values, and then I'm gonna indent into the, I'm gonna jump to the next line so that we can see what I'm doing. All right, so here we'll say user ID, and again I'm gonna copy that, account type. Okay, so now okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's fine. So now let's add the add transactional annotation, and then now we can say void um, create. I'm gonna say bank account. So I'm naming it that way because I know that if I say create account, there's probably multiple places where I use that name. So I think this is a safe bet. All right, so I'm gonna say add param. I'm gonna say user ID, and then this will be an integer. Okay, next param, and we're gonna say account number. I'm gonna copy that again, and then I'm gonna say int account number. In fact, let me just check something. Account number was a varchar value. All right, this is going to be a string, so we'll pass it into a string. String account name, account number. All right, and then account name, and then account type. All right, and then account type. I think that's all. So it's about 4 things. Okay. All right, so this is our query to insert within the database. To create the account, and then so therefore we can come back into the account controller, and then up here we'll just say private, and then account repository, and then okay, and let's not forget to auto wire it. All right, so down here we're gonna say all right, so we're gonna say um um what was I doing? Okay, yeah, account repository dot create bank account. So the user ID, we're gonna get it from user dot get user ID. The account name, we're gonna get it from, sorry, the account number. Oh yeah, so here we need to say string, right, bank account number, which is equals to integer, right, dot toString, and then we're gonna pass it that set account number. All right, and then here we can say bank account number. All right, and then what do we need? We need the account name, so we're gonna get that from the field, and then we need the account type, right? So there's about 4 elements that we need, so let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, that's fine. And then here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay, so let me just recheck if that's all we need. Yeah, I think that should be it. So here we then redirect to the dashboard. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing where you redirect with a success message. Okay, and we can say account created successfully, right? Okay, I think that should be all. By the way, in terms of this particular form here, we could do the exact same thing we did with the registration form where we could create a model attribute and then bind the form to what you call it to the bind the form to the model attribute that we would have created for the account. Maybe let's say using this particular model. But I mean, the only thing we need from this field is just the name and the account type, you know. So I don't think we need to do that much in terms of it. Here we can also check and see if we can also do a check on the account type as well. We can say account type um, um, dot is empty, right? And then we can say account name and type cannot be empty, you know. So that's the one check that we can do. And then what else? Well, I think that's basically it. All right. So now on the dashboard, there seems to be an error somewhere. Oh, over here, I'm missing a closing bracket. Okay, so I think that's fine. So on the dashboard, we can take what we did within the login form, right? And then take this message over here, close that. What else can we close? Let's close that, right? And then we can maybe display, okay, here it's the header, here it's the off canvas, so we can display it here, okay? And then the message we set up was success, okay? We also need one for the error message. So let's go back to login. Let's take this one, right? So here we can say, I think it was error. Okay, so this will display the error. This one will display the success message. Okay, so I think that's what we need. In the next, I don't know, actually, let's try it here now. Um, I need to redeploy the server again, so let's try it out. Okay, so I'm gonna lead it to start up the server and then we will test once we come back. All right, the server is up and then there's no errors currently within the console. So let's go back to the login form, or actually let's click on here. Okay, we logged out. Let's log in again. And then, okay, so, oh, damn it. Okay, let me just see something. I don't know if oh yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to actually set up the, where is it? I forgot to set up this particular route. So I'm gonna copy that. You have to come here within the add accounts of canvas and then let's see. That's the body. Okay, here's the form. All right, so we're gonna say account and then create account. Okay, that's our route, and then we have to say method equals to post. Okay, yeah, that's basically it. Apologies for that, guys. I forgot to actually set this up within the form, so I have to redeploy the file again. So We'll test again once it's back up. All right, the server is now up. Okay, so again, let's log out. Okay, so Sam. Okay, so let's try now. So I'm gonna try and submit the form without filling in anything. I just want to see if that error will flash within the dashboard. So let's say add account. Okay, so at least our check is working. So that's our error message over there. So now let's try and create an account, and let's call this, let's see, Sam's Bakery, and then let's make it a business account. So click account. Okay, so it looks like it says here account created successfully. So if you check in here, we should have one account showing. Now, as you can see, because now we have an account, it's now displaying that component that that's a component where we can add more accounts button is showing, and then the transact button now is showing. So, and then you see now it's showing the zero zero value over there because it's checking whether or not this account has any balance in it. So it's displaying that zero value there. So now at least we are able to create accounts, and then because of that, it is now displaying our components. So I just want to clean this up because it's spreading across, the messages are spreading across the whole page. So the only thing we have to do, um, the only thing we have to do is here within the dashboard. Okay, let me close that. Here within the dashboard, we can place these within a container, right? We're gonna say, all right. So I'm gonna give this a class of container. By the way, it's a Bootstrap class, right? And then we're gonna say container. Is that right? Yeah. And then paste these back within that container. So at least now it should be aligned along with these other components. All right. So that's basically it. In the next video, what we're gonna do is work on displaying all the accounts that we have within our application, and then we're gonna just set up this accordion to display all these accounts along with in here within the what you call this the drop down. All right, so yeah, that's it for the video, guys. We are now able to create accounts within the application. We should get close towards also working with these transaction forms, but for now I think I can end the video here. In the next video, we'll just work on styling this accordion to display our accounts. All right, so that's it for the video, guys. Again, if you've liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys within the next video. All right, cheers for now.